of Equestrian New South Wales, I welcome you here to magnificent Willinga Park. We're so privileged to be here. Unfortunately, as Roger has said, Terry can't be here, but we'll catch up with him later. We have a really, really active and professional Coaching New South Wales committee. Rob Stewart, Megan Yerg, Brett Parbury, Sally-Ann Barbera, Sandy Lucas. Have I forgotten anybody? Ali McLean up there who helps wrangle it. It's an incredibly hard-working committee. They tell me all the time, Bruce, you're not an equestrian coach, just leave it to the professionals. What I do know about coaching, though, is without you as coaches, we do not have a sport. My board has very deliberately decided to invest in coaching. And I'm pleased to welcome Helen Batson, who's one of our new board members here, who's not a coach also, I might add. She's a dressage judge. But our board and the executive are absolutely committed to the New South Wales coaching program. That's why we decided to invest in this couple of days. We'll be doing more of this in coming months. We're looking to establish a learning management platform that we can put some really slick coaching resources on, looking to have live Zoom meetings so that our coaches can get together on a regular basis to discuss all of the issues which challenge you every single day. And we look forward to the next 2 days with the quality of presenters. Mary Hanna, Roger's going to be wrangling it for us, Brett Parbury. So without further ado, welcome everybody, enjoy yourselves, pay attention. It's a top class field of presenters and I hope you have a really good time. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Bruce. And these things wouldn't happen without the generosity of people like Mary Hanna and the riders, and the first one, Kerry Mack. But firstly, I'm sure I really don't need to go on too much about Mary, because you could just spend a whole session about what she's done and her successes. But when you just say that she's competed at 5 Olympics very successfully and World Cup finals all over the world, that she's produced many, many Grand Prix horses, many Grand Prix riders, and all in between, I'd really like to put your hands together with more further ado for Mary Hanna.
Thank you.
Not to mention her spectacular performance the other night in here in the freestyle. The hair on the back, it still does, stands up. It was absolutely stunning. For those who didn't see it, you've got to watch the next one. So, Mary, what are the... You've been so international, had so much experience, not only in the competition field, but also being coached yourself and knowing what it's nice as a rider to get out of a coach. Some of the coaches that have influenced you along the way?
Well, been incredibly lucky. I've had so many good coaches. When I very first started, my first coach was my first husband, Gert Donvig. And he's the one that got me interested in dressage, and it was, so much that I learnt from him to start with. Then, after he passed away, Clemens became my coach, and Clemens was incredible. He was quite German in his way of instructing. Gert was Danish, and there are differences, of course. And I think that Clemens was very generous and had a good attitude, because he was always looking to connect with the coaches. When we went on all our trips to Europe, and we had a lot of them in those days, a lot of training trips, Clemens used to make an effort to make sure that we got to other good coaches in Germany, which was very important and very generous-spirited of him to do that. And so, I think that one of the first people I went to was Herbert Rabine, who's an absolute legend, and that was just an amazing experience. Unfortunately, Herbert wasn't with us for much longer after that. Then I guess going through all the coaches I've had, for the Atlanta Olympics, Kira Kirkland and Clemens were both coaching me, but I spent a lot of time with Kira Kirkland. And I went back to her later on before the London Olympics, and I trained with both Richard and Kira. And her breadth of knowledge was just unbelievable, and especially the pair of them with rider position, which is what we're going to do with Kerry in the first session, because of course, until you have a good rider position, nothing else is possible. Well, things are possible, but they can be much better with a good rider position. After that, Hubertus Schmidt was fantastic. And I must say, all these people, I've stayed friends with all of them, and they've just been incredible. Anki and Chef I was with for quite some time. First of all, the Anki, and then at the end with Chef for a short period of time. He blew me away with what he changed when I had tango. I only trained with him for a couple of weeks because mostly I was with Anki, who was marvellous, but he was kind of a genius, although lots of people argue about that, but to me he was, what he did for me. And then later on I connected up after the London Olympics with Patrick Kittle. Now Patrick's just been an unbelievable influence on me. Many of these coaches, well, they've all been mentors as well as coaches, and I think a good coach should be a mentor as well. And for a brief period of time, Ulla Salzgerber. And, you know, from every one of these coaches, I have a number of things that I always go back to. No matter who I'm riding with, I will go back and say, I remember Kira said that. Or, I mean, one thing that comes to mind is with Ulla, the one thing that I really took from her was she was the first person to say to me, when you want to go forward, take your leg off the horse, open your leg up. And I thought, that's odd. And then she said, come on, just try it. And then I remember Kira saying, you can just train a horse by touching its ear to do something. You just have to teach it the cue. Anyway, I tried it out on Port Said at that time. And all of a sudden, I'd just open my leg and the horse would be off. And it was just amazing. So I've got these little gems from all these people, and I put it all together. And finally, I think it's starting to work. It took me a while. I'm a slow learner.
Hardly. So I'll let Mary get on with this position lesson with Kerry Mack. And I've just got to say, with that little introduction, I mean, I'm a bit tingly with all the information. As an Australian, I think we're very lucky that we aren't set like the Germans to a German way or a Dutch way or an English way this way. We can take a smattering from everybody because we're a little country, so we enjoy everyone's input. And you come out with someone like Mary that's had all those coaches and all that input. It's incredible. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll let you get on with Kerry Mack, who's riding beautiful horse Limelight. And she trains with Mary back in Victoria, so I know them quite well. And we'll see how they go. Thanks, Mary.
Okay. Okay, but what I do need is I need a little mounting block or something because I want to stand up next to Kerry. Okay. So I'm going to Kerry, just keep trotting around for a moment because I just want to talk a little bit. Just make your horse a little stretch for warm-up in the warm-up position. So warm-up is incredibly important for everybody. I never do anything without warming up properly. So just to start with a little stretch. Now, I actually don't teach Kerry, but Kerry and I have been friends for a long time. And Kerry, actually, it's a lovely little story because Kerry bought Mayfield Pizzazz from me. I bought him from Holland as a foal, and he didn't grow big enough for me. And as a 3-year-old, just freshly broken in, Kerry bought Mayfield Pizzazz. And I have the most unbelievable respect for her because when she came, she was, how did you describe yourself, Kerry? That one, okay. An ageing doctor with twins, is that what you said? Yeah. Anyway, so Kerry took this horse, trained it herself right up to Grand Prix, and in between times took it to the World Championships and made the final of the World Championships. Now that is an incredible feat to do that. But all the time she was struggling with her position because, like me, Kerry used to be a jumping rider. And as Clemens used to describe my position as that of a koala bear. And I still revert to that occasionally. And Kerry and I both had this problem where you're used to, you know, jumping and sitting a little round-shouldered and sitting forward and not sitting down and back into the saddle. And to change these habits can be quite difficult. And there's quite a lot of people that come from a jumping background to dressage very successfully, but you do have to change their position. But I remember when Kerry rode at the World Championships, she'd had a lot of help from Susan Meisner, and she actually sat beautifully at the World Championships, and the horse went beautifully. So in between times, you probably haven't had that much instruction, is that right, Kerry? Yeah. But so, like all of us, when you don't have that constant reminder, it's easy to slip into bad habits. So I look at Kerry and I know myself that we both do a lot of the same things or have the tendency to do a lot of the same things. So Kerry, just come back to walk. So just out of interest, how many people here are coaches? Put your hand up. Right, lots of coaches there, good. So I can really make this a little bit from a coaching point of view. So, yeah, just come forward a little bit. To the middle, good. Okay. So when you're in a really beautifully balanced position, you shouldn't have to be gripping or holding on with your leg. That's the first thing. Just a little bit like what I said before with all over about, you've got to be able to open your leg off the horse to get it to go forward. What we don't want to be doing is kicking and squeezing. Kicking and squeezing is completely out. You don't want to be squeezing this part of your leg on or gripping down here or having the toe down and the heel up and clinging on by spurs. You see it a lot, and we all have a moment where we do it. So especially like just walking. So just walk for a minute, Kerry, and put your horse a little bit round and just walking. So the first thing we all have the tendency to do in walking is to bring the leg up a bit like that, which Kerry just did when she walked off there. And so one of the most important things just at the start is to stretch your heels down, sit tall, and not cling the leg on even at the walk. And if the horse goes to slow down because it's used to the tap, 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 then you've got to do a little double click and then put your heel immediately down and keep your leg very, very long, and don't squeeze any part of your leg on the horse. Give him a chance, yeah? Give it. And if you give him a wake up, I like to do a little double kick. The double kick, that's somebody I forgot. That was Stephen Peters. I spent 3 months with him, and he was the master of the double kick. So you don't just, it's like that. And that's much more effective than that big squeezy slamming kick. If you squeezy slam kick your horse, he's going to be object to it and go against you and push his rib cage against you. So it's got to be that little 1-2 and then quiet. But you must get a response. So if you do the little 1-2 and you don't get it, then you get a little bit more. So I want you to make sure that horse walks with you stretching your heels down. Now, stretch your heels down. Long, long legs. Long, long, long. Long, don't squeeze, don't squeeze. Long, soft leg. Stretch your heels right down. Right down. That. More. Come on, you can do more than that. Right, now he's still walking, and you didn't have to support him. And that's one of the first most basic things. So if you get on the horse and start squeezing first up, you're going to have a lazy ride. And we don't want that. We want a Grand Prix horse in the end, and we want it reactive, and we want it to go. So stretch your heels right down. And if he goes to slow down next time, I want you to go until he trots. Okay, yeah, good. Pat him. Come back to walk and stretch your heels down. Stretch your heels right down. Make your leg as long as you possibly can. Right down. Now swing through your back, sit back a little bit more, and you just push him a little bit in each stride with the lower part of your back, and follow with the reins. Follow. Stretch your heels. Don't squeeze. Okay, so I could spend quite a bit of time on this, but we've got a bit of a time limit. So this is one of the first things. The horse has got to be able to walk on its own without support every step. And if your horse isn't going, it's a little double kick, and then if it still doesn't happen, it's got to go to almost trot and have a reaction, and then leg off, stretch the heel down, quiet again. Stretch your heels down, Kerry. Right down. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, someone else that tried to help me was Richard Weiss, and he's very good on position, and I think it's the Alexander technique, I think it is. Okay, so just come round on the right here, and I'll stand this side. And he used to do a lot of what I'm about to do, probably did a lot better than me. Just turn side on, this way. Thanks. It's better to be on the near side. Okay, right, sideways, so everyone can see what a beautiful position you're going to be in after I finish with you. Okay, so it's stretching down here. Because sometimes just saying it doesn't work. Sometimes you've got to actually get this bit loose here. Stretch right down. Loose here. Now the next thing you've got to do is you've got to engage your tummy muscles. Like suck them in and make them on. Like turn those muscles on here. And the other thing that helps, I find, with the core, and this is a Kira Kirkland one, ride from the point of your elbow, always thumbs on top. But just think that your hand is just something that connects your arm to the rein. If you ride like that, you don't have the power or the feel. If you ride here, so let me just hold the reins. Just hold the reins. Now, I'm going to take the rein. I'm going to do what the horse might do. You ready? You were ready, weren't you? You've done this before. So, what did you do then that stopped me pulling you?
Yeah, got this strong here.
Yeah, and you bent your elbow and you used this muscle, not this muscle, okay? So you're much stronger here. So if your horse wants to pull you away, it's not that you want to pull the horse, but you don't want the horse to pull you away. So it's not, don't over-exaggerate leaning back, just sit normally upright. Think that you're riding from the point of your elbow and engage those core muscles, right? So I'm a nasty horse. Right, I can't pull you away. Now, it's, as I said, it's not for you to pull the horse, it's that the horse can't pull you out of position. So that you stay in a position of strength here. Because it's almost like by good riding, you mould the way that the horse has to be. You say, this is the rein you can have. Come here underneath me, and I'll be very nice to you if you stay within this frame. But if the horse wants to go out there long, what are you going to do? It's like a passive resistance. It's just, no, we're just staying here. Then you can feel a little bit, move the bit in the mouth through your wrist or whatever. But basically, you set where the horse is going to be. So, nice and loose here. Engage. That was, you actually can engage your core very well. You're quite strong then, when I went to pull you. Most people, I can pull them right out of the saddle. But I couldn't with you, because I reckon you are quite strong. Thumbs on top. I've just got to get a little bit closer. Now, the next thing that we all do, and I notice that Kerry does this and I do it too. When Kerry, she's been good today, because we've talked about it. When Kerry is having trouble or struggling with something or a little bit tense, what she does, go and do it. We all do this. We all shrink down here and go like that, okay? And this is what we mustn't do. We must relax the shoulders, right down and back. And sit tall. You don't have to lean back. You just have to sit in the middle. I don't like leaning right back either. Just sit in the middle. Now, can you just put him a little bit shorter on the rein? Okay, around your wrists. Right. Now, I'm not tall enough to reach because this is a very tall horse, but if I could reach, I'd be taking you, look here, at the top of the head and drawing you up. Imagine there is you're attached to a string here and you're being drawn up here. Having your head in the correct position is more, you tuck the chin a little bit and come up this way. It's not like that, with your neck forward and your chin out. It's not that. It's tuck the chin in. Draw yourself up through the top of your head. Now you look gorgeous. Drop the shoulders down and back. Grow right up through, not that way, look at me, not like that, it's like that. It's up here. You need a double chin. You're working on that double chin.
I've got one.
I saw a picture of myself at WEG and I was walking into the arena and I was thinking, I'm really going to sit well here. And I looked, I had all these little double chin things happening there, which looked ugly, but I did sit well at that moment. So there you go, all right? So you ride from the point of the elbow, drop the shoulders right down and back, engage the core, because if you don't engage the core, the other thing that happens is the rest of your body goes loose. So if you go all jelly belly here, the rest of you's like this, your head's going like this, the arms are here, everything becomes loose. This central part, this core muscles here, they are the most important things to hold everything still. Everything must be still, not tense, not tight, just really stable. So then you can use the smallest things to influence the horse. Okay, I think you're looking pretty good there. Thumbs on top. Thumbs on top. Hold the glasses of champagne. Because when you go that way, that's also activating the wrong use of your muscles. I have the left hand. I always want to do that. I always think left hand, thumb on top. So you're here, all right? Up through the top of the head. Shoulders down, back, relax. Breathe. Engage the core. Heels right down. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, off you go and walk. Try not to squeeze. Just walk and feel that he's round. And then we're going to go a little bit in rising trot. Now, it's really hard sometimes to maintain that in rising trot. We'll just do a little rising trot and get him on the bit, and then we'll do some sitting trot. And I don't care if you get a Grand Prix rider coming to you. If the seat's not right, you have to go right back to these basic things and get it right. Sit tall, you're leaning forward in rising trot. That's what I do. We're not on the show jumper now, on a circle line. Take a circle, sit tall. I love to lean forward in rising trot, and I'm always told off for it. Sit back. Stay back, stay upright. Now, drop your shoulders down. You're pretty good there. Drop your shoulders and ride from the point of your elbows. You can round your wrist, thumbs on top. Stay upright. Don't over-rise. You're over-rising a little bit. Not such a big rise. And try and stay a little bit more upright, a little bit more back. Now grow through the top of your head. If he feels round enough and good in the back, you can sit. Then it all gets a lot harder. Round as you can make him. A little bit rounder. And now sit. Now, stay in the circle line. Now, those shoulders down and back. Relax the shoulders, down and back. Grow through the top of your head. Right up through the back of the top of your head. Shoulders down, relax, and back. Good. Now, engage the core, because I think we can get those legs, your heels a little deeper. Stretch the heels right down, thumbs on top. Good. And now let's go on in canter when you're ready. Good. Not too long with the reins now. A little bit rounder, keep him down on the outside rein. A little bit soft inside. Sit right back. Feel. Stay back with the upper body. Now drop those shoulders. You're pretty good. Drop the shoulders right down and back. Grow up through the top of your head. To the back of the top of your head. String there pulling you up so the back of your neck gets long. Good. Keep thumbs on top. Very good. Super. Very good. Now stretch that. Now you're cantering. You don't have to have the grippy leg. No grippy leg. So you open your leg here from the groin. That part there's got to be open. Open the groin. And don't squeeze the knee in. Now stretch your heels right down. Right down. As long as you can make those legs. You can make those legs longer. I know they can be. Right down with the heels. Now, one thing Kerry used to say, instead of trying to put your heels down, put your toe up. See if that helps you. Toe up instead. Yes. There, we got it. Did you see that? It's a really good one. Put your toe up. It seems to work much better than pushing your heel down. So you actually put your toe up, you can feel it stretch down the back of your leg. Toe up. Long legs, toe up. Good. Now relax to trot. Okay, you can change range. Sure. Now think about it all again. Stretch your heels right down, long legs, toes up. Ride from the point of your elbow. Don't twist your shoulders. No twisting in the saddle. You've got to stay square with your hips, no twisting. Relax your shoulders right down and back. Good. Relax your shoulders down and back. Grow up through the top of your head. Very good. Make your neck long at the back. Long, 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 long neck. Good. Now steady with you in the core. It's all right. You can go on. Just go trot. Someone will pick up for us. Just shorten your reins 2 inches. Because he's had a little warm up now. Come on the circle line. Sit tall. Now I'm going to ask you to do something a lot more difficult. Because I was watching the other day in a half pass, and you're doing something like this. All right, we're not going to do that. You're going to sit in the middle of the saddle. So go large, shorten your reins. Always shorten your reins before a half pass. Make them a little round. Sit back, don't tense. I'm not going to let you do it till you put your shoulders down and back. Take a half 10-metre circle. Shoulders down, grow up through the back of your head. And half pass to the wall. Now sit in the middle, sit still. Sit still. In the middle. No wiggling side to side. Grow up through the back of your back of your neck. Now you've put your head forward and you're starting to tuck your chin down. Grow up through the top of your head. Tall, tall. Stretch your heels down or toes up. Right a little shoulder in there. Steady, right from the point of your elbow. You're starting to get loose. Shorten your reins. Don't be loose. Now, ride from the point of your elbow, half circle, ride from the point of your elbow. Be still. Don't wiggle. Elbows to your hips, elbows to your hips. Ride from the point of your elbow. You're doing a bit of a wing thing there. All right? Relax your shoulders down and back. We're going to think about that now. We'll do the same exercise each side again. You're going to relax your shoulders down and back. Grow through the top of your head. Thumbs on top, shorten your reins. Now, ride from the point of your elbow and your elbow must feel your sides. You must feel your sides with the elbow. Turn. Elbows to your sides. Ride from the point of your elbow. Ride from the point of your elbow. Elbows to your sides. That's better. You're crouching your shoulders again. Grow up through your neck, up through the top of your neck. All right, take a little walk. And when you walk, reposition yourself. Because as you went on, some of the things started to creep back. And then you have to go back and you have to reposition yourself and get everything in order again. Have a little break, pick up the reins, and we're going to do it in Canter, same exercise.
Just while Mary is doing this, we've got a few minutes left. If anyone has questions, if you come down, I'll take the question over here and ask Mary for you. So if there's any questions, we need to keep it lively. We've got about another 6 or 7 minutes, Mary. So it's fantastic. We could go on with this one for ages, but we've got lots to cover.
We're running out of time a little bit. Come on, Kerry, I want you to do it once each side in Canter, and I want you to think about what I've said without me saying anything, all right? You concentrate, and we'll see if anyone's got some questions. I can't help it. I have to talk. Elbows, elbows, thumbs. Elbows, thumbs. Now grow up through the top of your head. Good. Turning. Stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. Ride from the point of your elbow. Thumbs on top. Ride from the point of your elbow. Forehand. Forehand. You lead with the quarters. Keep the outside rein. Sit back. No twisty shoulders. Right, now you're going to do it the other side. You know what you're doing? You're doing this. Okay? That doesn't help get him across. Still with your shoulders, engage your core. No twisting shoulders, engage your core. No side to side with the shoulders. Shoulders steady, you're doing the Watusi with the shoulders. Elbows to your hips. Elbows to your hips, that'll help. Keep each elbow on the same point on your hips. Keep your elbows there. Very good. Keep your elbows to your hips. Keep them there. Keep them there. Keep them there. No Watusi with the shoulders. Sit still, sit still, sit still, collect to walk and give him a big pat. Well done. Now, it's not perfect, but it's way better. Okay, well done, Kerry.
It was great. You're not tired at all, are you, Kerry?
I really have to thank Kerry for doing this because, you know, you're really opening your soul to sit out here and do it. It's good on you, Kerry. And Kerry, to finish the story, Mayfield Pizzazz, is he the father of this one? No. This is Whisper. So Kerry's bred this horse, and she's trained it, and the mother, and you've trained it all the way from through to Grand Prix from 0, and did the same with Mayfield Pizzazz. I think that's just fantastic. Well done, Kerry. I've got great admiration for you, and it's going to be 10 times better when you can sit like that all the time.
It looked great. It absolutely fantastic. The difference was incredible. There's a question, Mary, about totally thought that it was great, but with baby riders, very beginning riders, what happens about a question about contact, about elasticity in the contact?
Well, you've still got elasticity. You've still got through your wrist. You can still give, take, move, and you can go this way. So when you want to give a little bit, you go like that, forward. It's not that you have to be planted there. It's nothing stiff about it. It's just that you ride from the point of the elbow. So the elbow goes to the horse's mouth, but you still have the line. You're not doing that. Something I love to do all the time. I love doing that. Don't hold the horse's head down. So you've got to go this way. with the round wrist. So you've got that, you've got that. Of course you can go up and down if you wish to. But it's the idea that you ride from the point of the elbow, not by the hands. So if you're riding by your hands, that's where this happens, the chicken wing thing, when you're riding your hands like this, and you're not riding from your core then. I just find that when I think elbow to the hip, it automatic, just try it when you're sitting there. Put your elbows to your hips. Somehow it makes you engage your core, makes you stronger. But you can still give, soften by this way and that way. And you can still do that and that, but basically this is the point you think that you're riding from. Anyone can disagree with me, it's fine. If you've got a better idea, I'm all ears.
Mary loves a bit of discussion. That's what it's about. I mean, it's so nice. And Kerry, before you go, it's always, I think one of the biggest things about this coaching, I'm setting aside a bit, but is to involve, we've got FEI judges, we've got international judges, we've got riders, coaches, onlookers, you name it. And it's the whole, everyone getting together and not holding back about questions and thoughts they have. So a little bit of feedback from, for you coaches, it's always nice. And for me, as doing a bit of coaching like Mary, it's also good to hear from the rider what they learnt from the lesson to check that what you were trying to impart was correct. So Kerry, what do you take home from that fabulous lesson?
I suppose firstly it's a privilege to be out here, and it's quite amusing to be the World Cup rider who's chosen for the remedial sitting trot lesson. Which has always been the case, and I don't ride so badly because I don't work hard at it. I do try, and I really appreciate the help. It's interesting that when Mary said put my heels down, and I thought they were down as far as I could possibly put them, and they were probably about a third of what I got in the end.
Yeah.
And
did the toes up help?
Toes up did definitely help.
Well, I think we all saw when you did that suddenly it happened.
Yeah. So that was very helpful. I mean, when you get your heels down properly, it really stabilises your position, and it makes it easier for me to sit and try and find that position here, which I'm always struggling with. So I'm trying to, and the elbows thing, that sticking your elbows on your hip, that was helpful to really, because it tells you what to do instead of what not to do.
Yeah.
You know, if people tell me not to flap, like my mother tells me not to flap my elbow, do you know, that doesn't help as much as being told to put it on my hip, because that gives me something positive to do.
Thank you very much, Kerry, and thank you very much to Limelight. I mean, these chances of being in front of people and experiencing fantastic instruction, and also those things that we don't do, and Mary knowing full well that without a good position you can't get the highest marks, and it's really important. And seriously, for me watching it was inspirational to see the difference in Kerry's position, and then when she rode the half passes, it was, your comments were so simple and so to the point. It was fantastic, but I guess you've got such a good eye about those things, it helps also. So thank you very much, Kerry and Mayfield Limelight, and thanks for a fantastic lesson about
Thanks,
position.
Kerry. Thank you.